แล้วก็ในช่วงนี้จะเป็นการบรรยายในภาคภาษาอังกฤษทุกท่านสามารถที่จะรับหูฟังแปลภาษาได้ที่บริเวณด้านข้างเวทีทางด้านซ้ายมือของดิฉันทางด้านนี้และขออนุญาตให้นำบัตรประชาชนติดต่อเจ้าหน้าที่ด้วยนะคะ Right now, we would like to greeting for all executive, for distinguished guests, and for all students. Today, I am Louis Laksmi. This is my honor to be here to serve you as MC. And right now, that we are ready to welcome for you back right here with our event activity for SX Sustainability Expo 2023. And of course, right now, in a few minutes that we would like to bring off you, let's start with our very first topic or our activity with the talk stage right here. We'll start and let's talk about the topic of Net Zero Smart Building Transform Sustainability into Business Strategy. Right now, distinguished guests, this is a free area and this is a free serve for all of you. Please do not hesitate to reserve your seat at in front of the stage right now. เอาละค่ะทุกท่านคะกับกิจกรรมในหัวข้อนี้นะคะเรากำลังจะเริ่มต้นขึ้นแล้วค่ะทุกท่านที่อยู่ณบริเวณนี้สามารถจับจองพื้นที่บริเวณโซนด้านหน้าและร่วมรับฟังการบรรยายในหัวข้อนี้กันได้นะคะ Okay, right now, distinguished guests, we let's start this topic for the morning right here. We let's talk about the Net Zero Smart Building Transform Sustainability into Business Strategy. Right now, if all of you ready, so please give a round of applause for welcome our honored speaker to be here on this stage. So please welcome Mr. Anish Nair, Senior Manager, Head of Solutions, Honeywell INC on the set, please.
Thank you. Swadika. It's a great honor to be here and speaking in front of you. I would like to start by saying that, inabilities of human to protect the environment in the past has led us to look at how we can control sustainability, how we can look at different angles to impact sustainability and change. This event itself talks and reinforces important ways and methods to impact sustainability. And here, in terms of there are multiple ways to impact sustainability, and I'm here to talk about one such contributor to impacting that change, and that is our buildings. And buildings are where we live in, we work in buildings. There's a huge opportunity in buildings that we can change as humans to impact sustainable changes and create sustainable livings for future to come. Before we start going into how we as business leaders and owners try to impact change in buildings, it's important to understand the mega trends in sustainability. Carbon impact of buildings. Buildings contribute around 37% of CO2 emissions in the world. So that's a lot. That's nearly half. And if we don't impact a change here, by 2030, it's going to go up to 40%. Electrification of everything. We talk about technology driving change. Everything is electrified now. We have IoT sensors, we have EV chargers in buildings, we have lights and powers, we have heating, cooling equipment, and so on. So electrification of things, though it's good, it's actually driving carbon emissions in a way. Third is climate change. We know about climate change is deepening every day, every year. There is unprecedented change and unpredictable changes brought about by climate change. There are new regulations and commitments that governments are making all over the world to control carbon emissions. All of this, I see this as opportunity, an opportunity for all of us as humans to impact a change. Now we talk about specifically on buildings. It's important to understand how our buildings can drive sustainability and can drive reduced carbon emissions. If you look at today's buildings, 35% of energy consumption in buildings is coming from heating, ventilation, and cooling. That's contributing to carbon CO2 emissions in our atmosphere. 27%, so 35% and 27%, big numbers here for us to impact. And the problem here is not these numbers. These numbers makes us conscious about how we use our energy, but many building owners and operators don't have access to this data. Once you have access to the data, then we can look at how we can control going forward. Now, going to how we do it, a lot of our customers talk about path to sustainability, and we start with a step-by-step approach. We look at how can we, first of all, monitor all the data that is coming from buildings. So visualizing the energy, scope 1, scope 2 emissions is important. So we look at monitoring at the first stage. Once we know the type of data that is emitted by different assets in the building, then we look at controlling it. Controlling can be as simple as changing schedules in your building. That will drive not only reduce carbon emissions, but also has a huge impact to return of investment and reducing operations cost in the buildings. We use AI and ML in buildings using data to drive real-time optimization in buildings. Decarbonization, the fourth step is really then if you're able to optimize the energy use, you're able to decarbonize and drive towards that goal of reaching the net zero buildings. Once you do all of that, your ability to do that has to influence your strategy, and that creates a sustainable and certifiable buildings. Not only one building, but all the buildings that you manage will be in a right path to reach the sustainability goals, which is becoming sustainable buildings, net zero buildings, being able to offset all the carbon that we produce in buildings. Now, what are our customers doing today? This is the real tactical action that customers are taking today. How do we design a strategy stack for creating sustainable buildings? It has to be an integrated approach. We start with talking to customers about the outcomes that sustainability approach can drive. Whether you're trying to save energy, you're trying to drive real energy costs down, you're reducing carbon emissions, or you're impacting the environment, it starts with outcomes. So the outcomes are around lowering your utility bills, improving indoor air quality for your occupants, reducing carbon footprint, and of course, it's all aligned by your local government governance. To be able to do that, we apply applications on top, which is, again, two aspects here. One is how do we manage energy use by monitoring and optimizing your carbon energy, scope 1, scope 2, and indoor air quality. And then the second is how do we manage the power and demand in your buildings, multiple buildings that you have. So these two applications comes after outcomes. And then we think about how do we get data to actually provide these outcomes. So we collect data from all these buildings, we standardize it, we make it accessible to you as business leaders and operators. We apply advanced level AI to be then impact those outcomes. And to be able to solve those needs around reducing energy, improving occupant experience, and reducing the carbon footprint going forward. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, hang on, let me go back. Let's go back, oh, it's not going back, okay. Yeah, to conclude, it's important, it's always important, I think humans have always been conscious about energy, conscious about environmental impact of non-sustainable living, but now it's a time where we have to convert this consciousness into real awareness, and the awareness into ability to really drive that change. Thanks, Kapunka.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Anis Nair, Senior Manager, Head of Solution, Honeywell INC, for your time and for your share with about the deep dive detail for everyone right here.